If a beer was going to be rated on just how good its can art would be, then this beer is going to be a top beer. This is Deadbeat, and this is a great artwork cover for the can of beer. This is an IPA from Northern Monk's Patron projects, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we've got quite an exciting beer because it is a Patrons Project beer from Northern Monk. Always good beers. I mean, if there's one sort of, I don't know, I suppose you'd call it a sub-brand of Northern Monk, it's the Patrons Projects. There's something just a little bit extra special. And this one especially so because this artwork, absolutely stunning looking artwork here, this sort of cartoon sort of picture, but it's bright, it's eye-catching. It's a collaboration. A lot of these Patron projects, there's lots of different collaborations, so trying to unwrap this. It says Bobby Abbey Deadbeat, so I'm not quite sure what that works in. It's Northern Monk, Finback and Prizm Brewery. These are different Freedom breweries. It's a double dry hop IPA, 7.4%, and it has got Azaka Strata and a hop that's never been seen, apparently, before in the UK called Superdelic. Quite interesting. I'm not quite sure where that's about. With all of these, you've got a little peel back here so you can get to see the artwork in its full glory. There we go. Look at that. Looks incredible. And then there's lots of stuff on the back. I mean, there's loads of writing. You're not here for the writing. You're here for the beer. So we're just going to take it from me. It's an interesting, there's going to be some interesting story behind all of this. But what's interesting is this Superdelic and what that brings to the party. So let's crack it open, get it in glass and see what it's all about. Last beer I reviewed, or one of the last beers I reviewed, was that American beer that was very lively. And so now every time I open a beer, I'm a little bit, there's anticipation that it's going to be too lively. But this opened up pretty good. Not much in terms of a fizz on there. So let's see what it's like pouring it out. I've even avoided my IPA glass to use this glass, which usually is a better glass for pouring. And that is a beautiful pour, I would say. So, beer in a glass. We've got a bright orange coloured. It's not as overly sort of opaque, I would say, as a lot of sort of New England IPAs. It's a lot more orange here. I mean, it is still pretty thick and hazy. We've got literally a finger of compacted off-white head. Looks the part, looks like an IPA. So I've got a few sniffles today, so I hope that's not going to fit my getting the nose for this beer. Let's see what the aroma's like. Lots of juicy tropical sort of notes. Definitely mango, peach, orange, passion fruit. Yeah, smells pretty good. Smells very sort of tropical, much more on the tropical sort of side than the, say, you know, your sort of zesty, citrusy fruits. See what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Quite a lot of dankness in this beer. Overripened mango, passion fruit, papaya, peach. There's even a little bit of sort of, I would almost say, more of that sort of berry sort of flavours coming through. Let's go in again. It's got quite a strong sort of almost weedy flavour. That strata, I mean, a lot of people describe it as like, I don't know, the beer equivalent of pot, cannabis, whatever. And it has got that sort of herby, earthy sort of flavour. But there's a lot of sweet fruits, mango, orange, passion fruit. Very big hitters of those fruits. I'm not getting much in terms of citrus. I'm not getting much, apart from orange, obviously, which is a citrus fruit. But when I think of citrus, I think of lemons and limes, grapefruits. I'm not getting much of that. I'm not getting much grapefruit on the back end. I'm getting a lot of tropical notes. There's a little bit of sort of sweet apricot coming through. There's something else in the background here. I don't know if it's that earthiness, but yeah, I mean, there's that sort of real dank, earthy backbone to this beer. It's not very, there's no bitterness to this beer. It's soft, it's smooth. I would say it's sort of medium to light body. It's not as thick body. And 7.4%, we're getting high into those sort of double IPA sort of levels. And you can tell it's a little bit more stronger than your sort of 6%. It's not as well hidden as you would hope for, I suppose. But it means you know what it's about, that you know it's a reasonably high strength beer. There's some other flavour in here that is not easy to put my finger on. Whether it's the Superdelic giving a different sort of vibe. I think it's almost like there's a real sweet, overripe pineapple in there as well. There's something else tropical that's coming through. I'm always getting, I get confused with things like, your papayas and guavas and stuff like that. It's not really a fruit that, I'm that au fait with, but there's something in there that's something like that. It's something definitely tropical. Maybe even it's got a bit of a bit of melon or something like that in there as well. A bit of, honeydew melon, that sweet melon flavour. It's definitely something else that's bringing something to it. I think maybe as well, it's a little bit that orange. The orange is quite, it comes across as sweet, and then you get a sort of almost like a blood orange flavour in there. There's a slight sort of sharpness, a slight twang that's a bit different. There's still a lot of orange and a lot of passion fruit. So those sort of flavours really sort of, they sing together really. I'd almost call the passion fruit a little bit more of a sort of a stronger tropical flavoured orange to some extent. And this is what I'm getting here. Yeah, I think passion fruit is coming through as a big strong flavour. It's a very nice beer. Something not as something missing. I don't know what it is that's missing. I don't know there's a flavour that's missing, but there's just something that doesn't make it a super great beer. Still a very good beer. As I say, it's soft. It's a little light on the body, and for something that's alcoholic, which is a little unusual, I expect a little bit more thicker. And all the flavours are all very sort of, there's all that dankness in there. I'm getting to the point now where I try and avoid Strasser because I'm not a massive fan of that flavour. Certainly if Strasser's big in the mix, it can over-dominate beers as well. I think it's one of those sort of, you either love it or you hate it sort of flavours. What was the other one? Oh, the other one was a Zaka, which usually is a hop that I like. Again, it works better with other hops. Usually it works better with those more sort of brighter citra type of hops. And obviously the other hop in here, the Superdelic, I don't know anything about that. I'll quickly put my glasses on. I don't want to make this video too long, but see if I can get a quick blurb on what Superdelic's all about. It's a New Zealand variety. It's a New Zealand hop variety, Superdelic, for the first time in this country. The special oil chemistry profile of Superdelic provides unique flavours and aromas of red fruit. Oh, I thought there was like red fruit, sweet lollies, candy, citrus and tropical fruit. Yeah, I'd say that's quite accurate actually. Superdelic was a result of 10 years of breeding work by NZ Hops and was released in the 2023 season. We've backed it up with Azaka and Strasser for additional notes of passion fruit, definitely passion fruit, melon, yep, lime and a bit of dankness. Well, I don't really get the lime, but I get more than just a bit of dankness. It's a thick double dry hop IPA with sweet mandarin. Yep, I said orange. God, I'm good at this. Anyone think I've been doing this for a few years, but yeah. And tropical fruit flavours in a juicy, hazy 7.4%. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good description, really. Yeah, mandarin orange. Maybe that's more mandarin than sort of the blood orange. There's definitely a strong orange flavour in there, and definitely passion fruit. And it's interesting, this Superdelic, because it's got lots of weird stuff. It's got red fruit, sweet lollies, candy, citrus, and tropical fruit. It's almost like it's similar to maybe Mosaic, slightly different, but slightly similar. But very different than most of the other New Zealand hops. Whether it be Rawaka or Nelson Sauvin or Muteka, they're very distinct and they're very much on that sort of citrus, lime, grape, melon, gooseberry sort of flavours. Superdelic obviously not like that at all, which is quite unusual. Right, I'm going to take my glasses off now. So let's quickly sum up. I have one more taste. It's juicy, it's fruity. I think the difference is there's that orange and there is this sort of red fruit, it's almost like coming through like a cherry, something like that, which again is quite unusual in any sort of beer, IPA sort of beer, really. I mean, you know, like a pale IPA pale ale, you don't really get that. There are some hops, some of the experimental ones are starting to bring in stuff like that. Do I like it? I don't know. If you like Strata, that's coming in as well. There is that dankness, that sort of cannabisy flavour that's coming in. It needs something a little bit brighter for me, and that's more my personal opinion or my personal preference, I would say. But I think a lot of people would enjoy this beer. It's soft, it goes down well, it's got lots of juicy flavours. So, and the other thing I would also say is that the can art is something really quite special. Looks really good, good can. And Patrons Projects, there's lots going into this beer. You know it's going to be an extra special beer. I'd say it would probably, you know, it's a recommend. You should definitely try it. But I'd say anything on the Patrons Project brand through Northern Monk are always worth buying. So if you do get the opportunity and you sort of decide, oh, what should I get? Think about Patrons Projects. You know, they do different styles, but whatever style that they're doing, it's usually a very good beer. So give them a try. Yeah, so that's it for the review today. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to get some scores in a minute, but until then, you know, we're going to do drink good craft beer and keep on rocking. Okay, the scores are in for Deadbeat. This is a double dry hot IPA from Northern Monk, their Patrons Project, and it's in collaboration with Finback and also Prizm Brewery. There's also Bobby Abbey. I'm not quite sure what Bobby Abbey is. Maybe Bobby Abbey is the artist that done the artwork. So double dry hop IPA, 7.4%. We got the Superdelic, this first time in the UK hop, which is a New Zealand hop, Azaka and Strata. Yeah, not bad at all. Let's go through the scores. Starting with aroma, appearance, flavour, value for money, my overall experience, and that gives a total score. It's close to being highly recommended. It's still recommended on a high level, but it's still good beer. Score of, definitely worth checking out. Let me know if you've had a Patrons Project recently. What do you think of the Patrons Project? You know, maybe you're a Patrons Project subscription box owner. Yeah, is that the word? I don't know. But you know, you maybe get the box every month from Northern Monk, the Patrons Projects. They make some really good beers. I don't always get them all, and I always wish that I could get them all because I know they're going to be good beers. But let me know what you think. What do you think? How do you feel about the Northern Monk Patrons Projects and how they rate with some of the other great breweries and beers out there? Let me know in the comments. And until the next one, you know what we're going to do. Keep on rocking.